The Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environmental Affairs, Barbara Creecy, released the rhino poaching statistics last week. Creecy said that rhino poaching is a major headache for conservation in the country. More than 450 rhino were killed for their haunts in 2021, while it's a 24% decrease compared to pre-COVID times in 2019. Authorities are still concerned about the scourge. Our colleague Tumelo Machogo joins us now live from the Kruger National Park. A very good morning to Tumelo. What are you seeing on the ground?
Well, Desiree, we drove around here at Kruger National Park. We have not seen any rhinos so far, but I can tell you that the minister said that the country has lost over 451 rhinos in the country, and Kruger National Park has lost about 209 rhinos just last year in the 2021 year. But those are the huge numbers. Those are the major headaches for the park, and also the major headaches actually for the minister. Yes, they are saying that there's a decrease, but that decrease, we've seen that the Kruger Park has lost more rhinos in the country, and it continues to be that. But also the minister said that now private game reserves are also becoming a major target by these poachers, because now they're seeing that technology is starting to improve in their parks. That's why the Kruger National Park is the only sand park park that has lost rhinos. The smaller sand parks have not lost any rhinos last year. So the Kruger National Park lost about 209 rhinos. But let's speak to a head ranger here, Kathy Dreyer. She is one of the people who is dealing with rhino poaching, and to ensure that we kept the scourge, because 209 rhinos is still a lot, and this is a worrying factor for the park, because we're depending on this for tourists and for everyone.
Yeah, good morning. Obviously, we're not happy to have lost 209 rhino, but I think we need to take it in the context of the magnitude of Kruger. So we are trying to protect 2 million hectares, and we are still suffering from the loss of tourism due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we've had significant operational budget cuts in the last 2 years, and are still struggling with over 90 field ranger vacancies that we are unable to fill because of those cost curtailment measures. But despite that, because of the massive effort from not only ranger services, but all the departments within Kruger National Park, whether it be the air services, the K9 units, the ECI units, the scientific services, conservation services, the numbers would have been significantly higher if it hadn't been for those efforts. Some of the interventions we have put in place is dewarning, which we have started with strategic dewarning, focusing on our rhino core areas and focusing on our adult female rhino, which are obviously the breeding stock, which we want to protect and preserve. Looking at various initiatives that we want to roll out or in the process of rolling out, and that involves a lot of technology. All of that is obviously dependent on our funding, but we have been very fortunate to have received quite a bit of donor funding that has assisted us during this time. So we certainly will keep up with the efforts. Obviously, every rhino loss is a significant loss for us, and we will definitely try and improve on what we achieved last year.
We saw also in countrywide there were a lot of arrests. Actually, there's an increase in terms of arrested people that are connected to rhino poaching. There were 189 people that were arrested across the country, but here in Kruger there were 77, and we've seen also the conviction rate going up this year. Just talk to us about the arrest that you guys have done here, and also the conviction rate that you guys are receiving in the park.
Yeah, so we had 77 successful arrests just inside Kruger, and obviously many more on the boundaries in conjunction with SABC and our ECI units. And those arrests don't come easily. It takes a lot of resources. As I said, it's not only ranger services, it's our air services, our K9. So a lot of effort and time goes into those arrests. So we are very proud of the rangers for effecting 77 arrests last year. We have had a number of successful convictions in the Skukuza Regional Court, which continues to really assist and support us. Having a regional court inside of the Kruger National Park, which means that our field rangers are not spending excessive time out of the field and they are still inside the park to respond to emergencies. So it's really important that regional court remains functioning. Obviously, we are very disappointed when we do catch repeat offenders. So it is very damaging to the morale of the team to catch suspected poachers a second or a third time. But we are looking at ways inside of Kruger that we can improve by opposing bail and various measures that we can put in place.
And also talk to me about the population. Obviously, it must go down of the rhinos that continue to be slaughtered every year by these poachers. Just talk to us about the numbers. Have you been able to do like a number of the rhinos that we might still have here in the park?
So we did do a game census, or there's a census that's done annually, and that was completed towards the end of last year. Those numbers have not yet been finalized, so we're still in the process of waiting for our scientific services to process those numbers. And those will take into, obviously, account the number of animals that have been lost, but also the number of animals that have been born over that period of time. So we don't have the final numbers yet, and at present we are just focusing on our core areas where we know the high density of rhinos are, and where we have high incursions into those areas.
Kathy, thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Kathy Adreya. She is the head ranger here at the Kruger National Park, just speaking to us about the efforts that they are doing to ensure that they curb the scourge of rhino poaching, especially inside the park. The minister was saying that, with those people that have been arrested last year, there were at least 61 people that were convicted of the crimes, and some of them, they are facing life in prison. So that was the positive coming out of what is happening here. But one rhino is too many, because these are one of the species that people come to these parks to come and see, and if they continue to be slaughtered the way they are, we might not have them in the coming years. That's right.
Tumelo, I know you're covering a very important national story, continental story actually, but do you have sometimes got to pinch yourself to check if you're working or playing?
I think I am working, Desiree, but it is lovely to be in parks like such as this one, because it's so beautiful. You get to see animals every day, so it is kind of fun work, if I can say that word.
We hope you are working. Tumelo Machogo there for you, coming from the Kruger National Park.